Church Origins, Part 6, A. Corruption at the Top. As the Middle Ages drew to a close, the cracks in the Roman Church were no longer hidden. At the very top, the papacy itself was drowning in corruption. The claim of one supreme, holy, and infallible head of the Church was shattered by scandal after scandal. In the 1300s, the papacy left Rome and settled in Avignon, France, where 7 popes ruled under the shadow of the French crown. This Avignon papacy made the papacy look less like the throne of Peter and more like a political puppet. When the popes finally returned to Rome, matters grew worse. Rival factions elected competing popes, and at one point there were 3 men, each claiming to be the only true pope. This became known as the Great Schism. How could the one true church be split against itself? Ordinary believers were left confused, disillusioned, and angry. Meanwhile, the very men who claimed to be shepherds of Christ's flock lived in wealth and luxury. Simony, the buying and selling of church offices, turned ministry into a marketplace. Indulgences were sold to finance cathedrals and personal riches, offering false promises of forgiveness for a price. Bishops and cardinals often lived like princes, while peasants scraped out a living in poverty. The moral failure at the top did not go unnoticed. Many began to question, if the leaders of the church lived in open corruption, what authority did they truly have to guide souls? The gap between the holiness preached and the lifestyle practiced only widened. This was more than a political problem. It was a spiritual crisis. The papacy had claimed to be the visible head of Christ's body on earth, yet its divisions and corruption revealed something very different. And while many stayed silent in fear, the credibility of Rome was steadily eroding. By the dawn of the 1400s and 1500s, Europe was ripe for change. The Church's grip was weakening not only from the outside pressures of nations and kings, but from its own failure within. And this set the stage for voices to rise up, calling people back to the truth of God's word.